Hello. Just finished watching your video with Joy, and I don't know, I think when you originally submitted, it might have been the wrong reflection, or it was the correct one, but the wrong video. But now I don't see the like CC form that you would fill out, but let me check. I might have saved it in with your folder before I realized it was the wrong video. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so let me see. So yep, definitely a period regulated. Totally normal if they close their eyes, it's just part of that eye prompting, or just say, let me see those eyes, or open those eyes on the board. And yeah, a lot of times these guys really have, just like most of us, need a lot of work on their core, but just keep prompting her to sit up straight back, hips back, feet flat, and just remind her, I'm gonna keep giving you these body prompts until it's just myelinated and you're good to go. That's good. I have some clients that even have a hard time with wearing their glasses, but I do work towards getting them on as much as I can. Yeah, struggle with initiation is typical. I mean, you are her first CRP, which is great. So just like with anyone, first time, just remember that all of those initiation, gestural, directional, eye prompts are going to be super duper heavy in the beginning and will fade accordingly. And loose grip on her pointer. Yeah, I would just keep readjusting the pencil, make sure she's holding it as it should with a little bit sticking out. If you think that the pencil, is, just that much more of a motor ask and challenge, then you could try a sensory board and just having her poke with her finger. But let me see what my notes were. I would make sure that you're always on the right side of every speller, no matter what, even if they're lefty or right hand. Get that elbow off the table. I don't know if it was her elbow or your elbow, I just have that note. But if it was hers, then remember, push her really far away from the table so she can have that full range, and the board can be down about 4 inches above her knees. She's never having to reach over the table, because then that's when she has to incorporate the shoulder there. Oh yes, I did notice there were a few times where, you were like, okay, first letter is, and then you were really focused on the letter that she should be pointing to, which is good, and it kind of helps with that peripheral, directional, whatever. But instead of you really looking at that letter, that's when I would try to take a look at her eyes, and then you can tell if they're wherever, and say eyes on the board, top right corner, eyes down, chin down, look ahead, get your eyes on it, and use that gestural prompt. And there were a couple times I think that you had said no after a mispoke, which totally happens to us all. Literally every single mentee, I even did it. But just be mindful of that, and instead of saying no, just keep prompting her to the right one. And if she's mispoking, more than 2 or 3 times, just pull the board up a little reset, or you can prompt by saying, over 1, or jump left, jump right, upstairs, downstairs. Remember to write down the keywords whenever you're spelling them out loud. And then also, pick and choose in each chunk which keywords feel kind of most age appropriate, and keep with like a nice flow of the reading. Because, we're all told to include as many kind of keywords as possible, but then when it comes down to it each session, it's kind of up to the CRP's discretion how many that they actually spell and write out loud. And I typically try and do about 3 or 4, and then just so it's a nice flow of reading. And she was doing really, really well, which was great. So remember that those spells are just for a few at the beginning, and if she's poking accurately with those spell onlys, then just move on to greens for the remainder of the session. And yeah, overall it was really, really great for the first session. I did also note, instead of physically kind of resetting her hand by touching it, then just try and think of motor coaching it down, or just kind of hovering over it, or just be like, all right, hand down, let's take a break, eyes on the board, lift it up, go. And then also remember that once you have kind of asked the question once or said the spell word once, you never have to repeat it again. If they're getting mispokey or anything, it's not like, okay, we're spelling apple, remember apple. And then on that same note too, if she's got the APP and she's getting pokey for that L, instead of saying, all right, so far you had APP, after that P, just say, last letter was P, next letter is, go. And yeah, it looked good. Definitely remember, always on the right side, no elbows on the table. Push her back far enough so the board can be in front of the table and closer to her knee. And don't be shy with all of those prompts. I will talk to you later. Oh, and yeah, I guess that's it, because I found your reflection. Never mind.